What's going on, everyone? Let me know if you can hear me. I don't do a lot of live streams. Zane, what's up, my friend? What is up? All righty. I'm going to go ahead and get myself started over here. See how many people we got. We got 21 people on already. What's going on, guys? How's it going? Let me talk seeds right now. What's up, Faith? Autumn Dragon, Croissant, Lion, a camel who likes Coke. Okay. Winter Blaze. What's going on, everyone? I wanted to come in and just kind of chill out with you guys. I've got some seeds I needed to start. Where's everyone from? We got Georgia, Malaysia, Delaware. Man, what is up, everyone? It is good to be here. Okay, so I'm starting some seeds. If you guys have some seeds you want to start, maybe now's the time. Pop out your seed storage bin and get on going. All right, we got Max Cohn. What's going on, my friend? MN Gardner. I thought it was MI Gardner there for a second. What's up? Justin Edie, I see you in there, my friend. Alrighty. Wow, everyone's going off right now. What's up? San Diego. Okay, let me talk first about the seed starting. So I'm going to be starting at least some for spring right now with you guys. If you want to chill out and get that going, then definitely do it with me. But I figured I would run you through some of the seeds that I will be starting this year in general. I'll probably do a full video on this for the channel, but why not run you through both some of my favorite companies and some of my favorite seeds that I'll actually be going with this year. And I just knocked one over, so be it. Okay, so the first company that I bought from this year is Kitazawa Seed Company. These guys specialize in Asian greens, Asian vegetables. Some of my favorite stuff to grow. So I'm going to be planting at least some of most of what you see here today. So here we have gochujang king. This is a pepper. It's a Korean pepper. Really love Korean food. Very excited to grow a Korean specific pepper here. Next we have okra. This is Clemson Spineless 80. Not necessarily an Asian variety, but certainly okra is a big staple in Asian cuisine. So Kitazawa stocks that. Very excited about this guy right here. This is a yard-long bean. This is mosaic. So the yard longs, I mean, we're talking, as the name suggests, it is a yard long. I mean, these things are like this long, and you grab these huge bunches of them. They're amazing. Okay, next up, I've got a Japanese pink tomato hybrid. This one, again, cool labels, isn't it? It's like a nice artistic label there. Just wanted a different sort of tomato there. Next, we've got the Sharon Tice melon, Hakucho melon. Take a look at that. Now that I have the space, I'm actually going to be growing the stuff that I can grow in a huge space, you know? Next, I've got jicama. I'm going to try growing jicama. We'll see what we're doing. We got some questions here. What zone is he in? I'm in zone 10B, guys. All righty. Next, we've got winter squash. This is Chirimen winter squash. Next up, we've got the Japanese cucumber hybrid. I love a Japanese cuke. I may try to pickle it, but I don't really think it's supposed to. You're supposed to kind of have it in like a sushi or a you know, just like a fresh salad or something. This is interesting. This is shirogama, aka white sesame. So I'm going to try growing sesame for my own seasoning, for my own spice, for my own cooking. We'll see how this goes. No promises here. I sometimes mess up. This one's just a pretty classic Japanese turnip. It's a long taproot turnip. So very excited about that. This one's interesting. Shark fin stripe noodle. It is called this because the actual gourd itself is used in place of shark fin for shark fin soup, which to me, definitely a better way to do it than killing sharks for their fins. So this is going to be, not that I've even had shark fin soup in my life, but still. Okay, this one is corn. This is Japanese hull-less corn. I bought this one because it's an early corn. So those little baby corns that you used to get in those cans as a kid, you can actually grow it for specifically that. Let me see if I can get some comments going on here. How soon do you want to start seeds? 8 to 10 weeks before last frost date. I would say that's a good rule of thumb. 8 to 10 weeks before last frost is a fantastic rule of thumb. You can go a little earlier than that if you're willing to supplement with additional indoor grow lights, but 8 to 10 weeks for a lot of your stuff, fantastic rule of thumb. Here we go. We've got a Thai pepper. This is a bird pepper. Now we've got, what do we have? Another type of yard-long bean, white seeded. And then finally, this one I'm really excited about. This is a broad-leaved leek. And so you would use this more often for the leaves of the leek than the actual, you know, section where it's close to the ground, that root section, that white section of the leaf. So I'm really excited about this. So let's go ahead and start planting this before I answer a couple more questions here. All right. Okay, we've got, do I have Japanese leek? Yeah, I do. This is a different type, but not quite the one. What seed company are these seeds from? These are from Kitazawa Seed Company. So go ahead and check those out. When's my last frost? I don't have a frost here in San Diego. We get to about 45 degrees minimum, and it got maybe to about 42 degrees. So it's a little colder than average, but still we don't get a frost here in San Diego. So Tatiana has a great question. What about people who don't have a frost? That's a fantastic question. So the way to think about it is, here's what you would normally have. You'd have spring, summer, fall, winter. And for most people, fall, winter, and spring, there's portions of all of those that you actually can't be growing because it's too cold. If you're in an area that doesn't have a frost, you basically think of it like this: warm, cool. So you have your warm season up top that encompasses a bit of spring, summer, and fall. And then you have your cool season below that's fall, winter, and spring. And what you have at the tails of those is you have your shoulder seasons. And so you have your cool moving into warm and your warm moving into cool. And that's how you really think about growing in a warmer climate where you don't have a true frost. Okay. All right. We've got a couple more questions here. Have I tried wax gourds? I haven't, but I will be getting some seeds soon from a friend, so I will be growing some wax gourds. Top King Niner says, am I growing anything from San Diego Seed Company? You bet I am. San Diego Seed Company is one of my favorite seed companies of all time, so I will be planting some stuff from them as well. But let's go ahead and get started with some of these Kitazawa Seed Company seeds. Now, I'm using a seed tray here that I think is going to be accessible for a lot of you. It's not something fancy. It's not something special. It's basically a 1020 propagation tray, which you can see right here. And then what I have is these little inserts. Now, these inserts aren't the most durable. You can see they're sort of a flimsy type of plastic. So you want to be careful with them and try to get as much use as you can out of them. Pretty soon, I'm going to drop a video that has probably my favorite seed starting tray that I've ever used that is much more durable than this. And there's a lot of benefits to the way it's designed that I think you guys are really going to like. However, we're going to go ahead and get started with just the normal seed starting here. Let's answer a couple questions. Justin said he just started a few Atlantic giant pumpkins and he wants a 500 pounder. I actually just got some giant seeds, Justin, and everyone from my friend Kevin over in England, who has some Guinness World Records for giant plants. And so I'm super excited. I really want to have like a giant vegetable garden here at the Epic Homestead. Alrighty. Tell me more about the shoulder seasons. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And let's go ahead and get started. So here in San Diego, I can actually consider starting my tomatoes right now if I want to. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to at least start some of them. Tomatoes in San Diego here in Zone 10B, you can kind of have two crops of them if you wanted to. So we're going to start off with the Japanese pink tomato hybrid, aka the Odo Rico tomato. Now what I do now, let me get a couple of these out. I don't have a lot of these seeds. So if I had more of these seeds, it looks like I have about 15 of them. I would probably put 2 seeds per hole, and that would allow me to almost guarantee germination. I don't have a lot, and I probably only want 2 of these plants. And so I'm going to put very gently, it's hard to see, let's do right there, just 1. I'm not making any holes, and you'll see why in a second. 2. So I'm just going to do 2 for now. We'll see how it goes. I can always germinate a little bit more later if I mess up. What I like to use these days for my labels, I just bought some popsicle sticks off of Amazon, very cheap. So I want to make sure I label it. I want to make sure I label the type of plant, the specific cultivar, and the planting date. And so in this case, we've got tomato, Odo Rico, and then today's date is the 21st. And then I'll just go ahead and stick this in here. I'll show you what I label it as. That's the label, tomato, Odo Rico, 121. Sorry if it's upside down or reversed or whatever. But there you go. So the tomatoes are in. Now, when you're starting like 2 seeds at a time, 3 seeds at a time of a specific variety, you want to try to kind of plant stuff in one of these cells that will germinate at the same time. So if I did tomatoes and then I did like lettuce and radish, those are going to germinate really quickly and I'll have to prick those out. And so I'm going to try to find some other tomato varieties that I want to grow that I'll go ahead and plant in this little 6-cell insert. So I need to kind of hunt around because I didn't choose these specifically. So let's go into our vault here. I've got my tomato little cage with all my seeds, and let's see what we can grow. Okay. Let's go with a green zebra tomato. So this is a classic variety. Hard to see with the glare there. Never really turns. Well, you know what? Actually, I'm going to mix it up. Let's go with one that I got from one of you guys out there who sent this in. I want to grow a currant tomato. So it says 25 smallest currant tomatoes. So currant tomatoes are it's a different species of tomato, and they're super small, super small. I'm talking like they look like a blueberry or a grape, and they're very, very aromatic, very flavorful, very delicious, and very prolific. And so this is, you could almost grow it as sort of like, it's not really an herb, I would say, but it has this sort of vibe of, oh, you don't really need to maximize your harvest on it because there's just so many of them. So currant tomatoes, I've got a couple more of these seeds. I'm going to go 2 per hole, 2 per cell here. Sorry, it's hard for me to look at the comments at the same time that I'm planting, guys. So I'm going to take a break every now and then, and I'll try to answer some comments as we go. And I believe we have donations turned on for today's live stream. So if you would like to, feel free. I usually send all of the donation income over to one of my employees, Carissa, whose husband is kind of going through a rough medical time, and I send him to support her medical bills. Okay, currant tomato is going in. So I think right now I'll just do 6 different tomatoes right now. So I'll get, let's see. Oh, you know what? Here's a good example. So if you're sitting around in San Diego or in a warmer zone, or you want to start tomatoes really early, you can try this one. This one's called Glacier. Glacier is a fantastic variety. As the name would imply, it really holds up to colder temperatures. It's one of the earlier tomatoes you're going to get, and it's just a really, really solid one. So you can get this in the ground as early as basically as soon as the ground is workable, especially if you sow it indoors like we're doing right here. You're going to be in a great spot to have tomatoes really early in the season, which of course, who doesn't want that? We all want that, right? So the Glacier tomatoes are going to go in. Now that I'm going to label this, I will go ahead and answer a few questions really quickly. Glacier tomato. Okay. I already labeled the date on one of them, so let me show you really quick what I'll do instead of putting holes in the ground. What I do is I just come in with a little sprinkling of my seed starting mix, and I just sprinkle over the top instead of depressing the holes. Now, I'm not saying it's like absolutely better to do it this way, but I just find it's a little bit easier, a little bit less tedious to just sprinkle over the top instead of making depressions in the soil and potentially burying them too deep or whatever. So this is what I do. I've hydrated that soil lightly before I go, and boom, there you go. Really simple method to covering your plants. Okay, let's take a second here and answer some questions. Oh, wow. We've got some donations coming in. Okay, Sean Evans. Love your channel. My wife watches all the time, and the garden is doing well in large part due to you. Hey, that's amazing, man. I'm really glad to hear that. Say hello to your wife for me, and thank you so much for that. Free America, $5. Thank you. Laura TN, thank you so much for that 10. Okay, let's get a couple questions in here. Are beefsteaks indeterminate? Top King Einer. I would say, I mean, off the top of my head, I actually don't know, but I would say my gut says most beefsteaks would be indeterminate, although I guarantee there's varieties that are determinate varieties these days, because you're going to want, like a seed company is going to want to give people the option to have a more compact tomato that still is a nice juicy beefsteak. But some of the best beefsteaks are going to be your indeterminates, like your mortgage lifter, those types of things. Okay. What are my seed starting essentials for soil? Hold on, I'm going to sneeze. Allergies. Okay. The seed starting mix that I use is this one right here. This is from Espoma Organic. They've been longtime partners of the Epic Gardening channel and brand, and I just love these guys. They're a family-owned company, been around for 90 plus years. Espoma Organic is my mix. The reason why you want a seed starting mix is because if you use like just normal topsoil, or you use garden mix or garden soil, it's just not a great recipe for success. It's a little bit too gritty. There's too many large particles. You want a nice fine mix. A lot of the time when you're starting your seeds, you're going to be potting them up or transplanting them out before they're really taking a lot of nutrition from the soil. So you don't need a mix that's like super full of compost or whatever. You just need a mix that allows those roots to develop, and then you can get them into their final home. Nikhil wants to know if I can make a video on radish. Yeah, definitely. That's going to be going into the video queue pretty soon. Steve Rogers, have I tried Fox Farm Happy Frog Soil for starting seeds? I probably have tried it for starting seeds, but again, I usually go with a seed starting mix. Okay. Could I make a video about growing pumpkins? Yes, I definitely will, guys. So the thing I want to do this year is, now that I have this space, I can really dedicate as much land as I want to growing like pretty much anything I want, which is really just, I'm so grateful and so happy for that. But what that means is it's going to take me time to get this new garden set up and actually film these really long form videos on how to grow pumpkin, how to grow radish, how to grow lettuce, etc. Okay. We've got a, do I ever direct sow tomato seeds? I actually never direct sow tomato seeds. In fact, there's very few things in my garden that I direct sow at all. I would say some root crops I'll direct sow, like carrots I would direct sow. There's definitely some wildflower seeds that I would just sprinkle around, but I don't direct sow a lot of stuff because I'm always trying to plug and play and maximize my space. Okay, so before we get on to the next seed starting, Hashi the Moody Husky says, are there any garden books anyone recommends? I'm looking for an all-inclusive type of book. So I'm going to let everyone in the comments, if you want to help him out and just drop your favorite gardening book in the chat while I'm doing this, then maybe we can have a little bit of a community book club in there. And I have a book. It's called Field Guide to Urban Gardening. And my next book is called Grow Bag Gardening. And that's coming out soon. So you can look it up on Amazon. All right. We're going to be doing something else now. Let's go with some peppers. Peppers. I've done some videos on how to perennialize peppers. And so what that would mean is that, at least in my climate, I could start peppers as early as I want, keep them indoors for a while, and then finally bring them outdoors. And I could even bring them in and out as I bring them over the seasons. Okay, now let's find those peppers that I had from, yeah, I want to do the Gochujang Kings. So we'll do those first. These are 100 to 140 days to maturity. So think about that. 100, 140 days from now is what? Like 4.5 months? Almost 5 months. So if I start now, I'm going to be starting to get peppers as we go into June, which means good time to start them, at least in my climate. All right, gochujangs. Peppers are another plant that I pretty much always start indoors because, again, you want to baby these guys until they're ready to go. And no better way to do that than indoors. Okay, gochujang kings are in. I'm only doing a couple of each because I just want variety this year. I want as much variety as I possibly can. And I want to show you guys as many different things as I possibly can. Gochujang. There we go. So that one's in. There was a Thai bird pepper in here that I wanted to plant. There it is. See a couple questions here. We've got where do I get my seeds from? Guys, I'll do a full video on that actually pretty soon. I'm going to do a video on my 5 favorite seed companies, but honestly, if you're on this live stream, you're probably going to get a sense of what they are. I like San Diego Seed Company. I like Botanical Interests. I like Kitazawa Seed Company, which is what I'm planting right now. And there's a few others I like. Honestly, I've been more into the online nurseries for like fruit trees and stuff lately. So there's a couple that I like for that as well. Okay, so this is a Thai pepper. This is the bird pepper. I had a lot of success growing Thai pepper this year. Just a fantastic and prolific one that you can let dry on the vine and then grind it up into a spice. So a lot of different things you can do with it. Okay, so let's go ahead and plant some super hot peppers here. I got some super hot peppers from my friend Spicy Mustache. So Spicy Mustache, I'm going to type it in the chat, guys. You guys need to go subscribe to Spicy Mustache here on YouTube. I call him the Italian god of gardening because he's an Italian guy who's living in the UK, and he's just got great energy. He's a small channel. He's about 10,000 subscribers. So I really recommend you follow Spicy Mustache. He sent me some of these super hots. So I want to run you through some of these varieties because, I mean, we're talking Scoville units that like I won't even be able to eat. For sure, I won't be able to eat these. So we've got the Boot crossed with Nady right here. That's a super hot. We have a Hot Patio Sizzler. We have a Black Goat. So this one's got Scoville heat units. I don't know if you can see it, but it's 20,000 to 40,000. That's pretty hot, at least for me. I know it's not like some people can actually handle that pretty well. This one's crazy. Look at this one. This is Purple UFO. Purple UFO has Scoville heat units of 30 to 50,000. So you know what? I'll plant one more normal pepper here, and then maybe I'll plant an entire cell insert of the hot peppers and have a little super hot pepper garden. But what do I want to plant as a normal pepper? Let us do, oh, you know what? These Diaguito jalapenos from Baker Creek. These ones are really interesting. Look at the wrinkling on the skin there. that's sort of a natural feature of these ones. And a lot of the times when it gets to that wrinkled level, that's actually when the flavor's really nice. The heat dies a little bit, at least in my experience, and the flavor complexity seems to increase. And so if that's what you like out of your peppers, then maybe this Diaguito jalapeno could be for you. Hopefully, I don't know, it's kind of hard to buy from Baker Creek right now. I think they like shut their seed store down because they were too busy or something. So if you can get in, then by all means get in. But if you can't, you know, you're gonna have to go with a different supplier. And honestly, not that I don't necessarily like Baker Creek, but I just have moved on to some different seed companies, and I really am testing out some different smaller companies that I'd like to support, because Baker Creek is actually a massive company now. And they just got a lot going on. Okay, so my peppers are in. Every time I do one of these little trays, I will do a little round of questions for you guys. All righty. Trista says she keeps buying super hot peppers that she can't tolerate either. You and me both. You and me both. Eliana's awesome videos with the $5 donation says, congrats on 1 million. Thank you. Have I grown bitter melon? No. I'm going to be growing a full Filipino garden. Actually, I don't know how many of you guys follow me on Instagram, but I did a little post kind of sharing some of my backstory and some losses that I've had. And I have a bench that is dedicated in memoriam to my dad. And what I want to do is I want to get that bench and I want to put it somewhere nice in this garden. And I want to grow a Filipino garden around it as sort of like a sitting or memorial garden. Because my dad was Filipino and he passed away when I was a young guy. So that's kind of what I'm thinking for that. All righty. Let's see. What would I say is better in my experience, to have a lot of varieties or a few? If you're just starting out in gardening, I would say stick to a few varieties that you, first of all, you like and you kind of know how to grow. As you expand, then I would definitely, just mix it up. Again, part of it is kind of like, part of it's just a personal preference type of thing. All righty. Got a couple people subscribing to Spicy Mustache. Yeah, he's a great channel. Great guy, great channel. When you subscribe to him, hit him up on Instagram too and tell him that you can't believe you found the Italian god of gardening. He'll die laughing. He'll die laughing. I gave him that nickname and I think he kind of secretly likes it, but he pretends like he doesn't like it. So you guys have to go tell him he's the Italian god of gardening. Okay, let's plant up some of these super hots. I'm actually really, honestly, I'm kind of scared. I'm terrified. But we're going to do it anyways. So this is purple UFO. If any of you are super hot growers out there, try to drop some comments. I'll try to look in the chat and see. I'm not really a super hot guy, but I'll grow something just for the pure interest and intrigue of growing it. And so we're going to see how this goes. It's going to be a little bit of a labeling nightmare here. Purple UFO. If you guys like these live streams, by the way, I might do like one every 2 weeks or so as we go throughout the season. So perhaps we can all sort of garden together and make sure like everything's on track for the season. Things are going well. You're not making any like critical mistakes that could mess your season up. It's just a little tricky here on YouTube. What I want to do is I want to improve the video quality because I'm just working off like a laptop right here. And so if I can figure out how to get my camera set up to do a live stream straight from the camera, then I think that would be fantastic. The next one I just put in was Magma Super Hot. When it says super hot, it doesn't have the Scoville units on there, so I don't even know how hot it truly is. But we will see. If I successfully grow any of these super hots, then I promise I'll do a video where I like harvest it and try to eat it on the channel and probably like cry and maybe even die. I might even die. So rest in peace, me. I've just committed to my own death by eating these super hots live here on YouTube. Okay, this one was Black Pearl. I don't even know what these ones look like. I haven't Googled the actual appearance of them. Pearl, pepper. I'm only doing one plant of each of these because I want variety here. This is red black. Let me see if we've got some chats here. We got a question from Max Cohn about how to harden off your seedlings. That's a great question. So if you're unfamiliar, guys, if it's your first year gardening, if you're kind of new, hardening off refers to the fact that, let's say we've started these seeds, right? We're sort of babying them. Oh, I got to label that red, black. We're babying them, right? We're growing them indoors and we're kind of babying them. And what you want to do when you introduce them outdoors is you don't want to just put them directly outdoors because they're really not going to do that well. They're going to struggle for sure. So what you want to do is this process called hardening off, which means, let's say I have this tray. What I would do is I've got my seedlings. They're maybe a couple weeks old or so. They're ready to go out. And what you want to do is take them out for about an hour a day and then bring them back in. And then the next day, take them out for another hour. So 2 hours total, and then bring them back in. And so over the course of a week, you kind of work them up to the full potential. So to about 8, 9, 10 hours of sun. That's hardening off. It's just acclimatizing your seedlings to the environment that they're eventually going to grow in. Okay, I need some advice, guys. I only have space for one more. Do I grow the hot patio sizzler here, or do I grow the boot crossed with nady? Sorry, I know the glare is pretty bad. Can you see? Do I grow the hot patio sizzler, or do I grow the boot crossed with the nady? I don't know which. I don't know which. Let's see. What does chat have to say? What does chat have to say? Sizzler? Sizzler? Okay, everyone, it looks like, yeah, okay, everyone wants a sizzler. We're doing the sizzler. Got a good name. Got to be honest, some of this stuff is the name. Someone wanted to know if I like Miller Lite. I don't actually like Miller Lite, but it's a candle. Someone sent me a candle with a beer can, like a beer can candle. So I don't drink Miller Lite, but I do like candles. So there we go. Okay, this is hot patio sizzler going in. Let's do this. After this, I'm going to do another question round, but I'm also going to make sure I label these seeds. Hot patio sizzler. Honestly, guys, if you do not label your seeds, you're making a massive mistake, because your brain will forget 1000%. It will forget what you planted, even if you think you'll remember. There's no way you're going to remember. And then I would also say, after you're done planting, make sure you put all your seeds back in their containers. I have a full video actually on how I made this particular seed storage container. So check that out. So let me sprinkle a little bit of seed starting mix on top of the ones that I just did. This is my pepper row. And then I'll hit some questions for you guys here in the chat. And I just want to say, guys, first of all, thank you for all the support here on this channel. It's like, I can't even believe it. Honestly, I can't believe it. The level of engagement, the level of enthusiasm behind gardening this past year has been insane. And, you know, for Epic Gardening to kind of come into the spotlight, I suppose, has just been an absolute joy. So I'm really grateful to all of you guys. And it's really hard for me to overstate like how much you've changed my actual life. So thank you so much. Okay, let's get some questions going on here. Kathleen Beardsley, why do my seedlings always die before I transplant them? They seem to reach a point before they're big enough to transplant and all die. The problem you might be running into, there's probably two problems. Number one, you probably aren't fertilizing after about 2 weeks or so. So if you don't fertilize after 2 weeks, what we have to remember is this seed starting mix doesn't really contain a lot of nutrition. And so if you don't fertilize after about 2 weeks, that's about the point where most of these seeds after germination are going to use up all the nutrition in the seed. You have to fertilize. Otherwise, they're just going to be struggling. They won't have anything to feed themselves. So that could be one problem. Another problem could be that you haven't given them enough light. So that would be one where you see them stretching out really. You need some sort of grow light over the top of your seedling tray. Or if you're lucky enough to have a warm climate, grow them outdoors. The other problem you might be running into is something called dampening off. So dampening off is a fungal disease. It's sort of a bucket of different fungi that, let's just say this is the seed, right? This is the stalk, and here's the ground. What happens is it attacks it right about here, and it'll kind of fall over. So if you see a weakness right around where the stem is coming out of the ground, that's probably dampening off, and you need to sterilize your seed starting containers a little bit better. Otherwise, you're going to keep running into that. All right. Let's get, someone just said, you're the tuber of my garden because I dig you. I like that. That's so cheesy, but I like it. All right. Have I thought about growing fruiting cacti other than dragon fruit? Yes, I have. I actually have some epiphyllum that you can grow. Sean Evans, are there any vegetables that I can start outside during cold weather for the next couple of months? Yeah, Sean, so there's a technique called winter sowing that will actually allow you to start most seeds outdoors. So let me see if I have a example. Let's just take this for example. So let's pretend this was clear and it was like a milk jug or something like that. What you would do is you'd cut a hole in the top of the milk jug, and underneath you would sow some seeds. And it's going to be cold in your climate, right? So there might be some snow, there might be some frost, but you'll sprinkle the seeds in there, and then you'll cover it up. And then once the temp gets warm enough, they'll auto germinate because that's what seeds do. And you have sort of a free way to start seeds even before frost in the garden directly by direct sowing it. And so I would say look up winter sowing. I'll probably make a video on that because it's going to be helpful for a lot of you that are in colder climates. I don't have to use it that much because I can direct sow straight in ground. But I have to be mindful that not a lot of you live in zone 10B. That's just the truth. So, okay, let's see. Susan Creative, when you say sterilize your seed starters, can I explain it a bit more? Okay, sure. So let's say you've got this. This is my little seed starting tray, and I've used it many, many years in a row, right? Well, it's probably not sterile, meaning that there's probably pathogens on it or just something coming throughout the air. And so what I like to do, sorry, there's like a helicopter chase going on up there if you can hear that. But what I like to do is I'll spray it down with a mixture of hydrogen peroxide and water. So you just mist it and you let it sit, you let it air dry, and then you fill it up. You want to give it the best chance, at least, to have less pathogens on it early on. That's one approach. The other approach is to start your seeds in like a nice living soil, like a really prepared mix where there's actually soil life within the mix itself and it's not a sterile mix, and then it would sort of outcompete. So, excuse me, so there's sort of two approaches there. Okay, let's see. Oh, what's up? My friend Ultimate Gardening is in here. Hey, guys, I have to say, Ultimate Gardening, he's a young gardener. He's got a young, small YouTube channel. And man, if I had someone like me back then, I would have wanted them to help me out. And so I would say, go hit up Ultimate Gardening's YouTube channel and shoot him a subscribe and say you came from Kevin over at Epic Gardening. And hopefully this manhunt isn't coming for me because it's actually quite loud right now. Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and start some more seeds and we'll keep on going. Man, so loud, sorry guys. Okay. What do we want to do next? I'm thinking, what do I do next? What do I do next? Maybe I'll start some Luffa gourds. I'm doing Luffa challenge again this year. I think I'll start some Luffa gourds. If you guys don't know, Luffa is the shower sponge that you can grow. It's a shower sponge that you can grow. So let me show you what I've got here. These seeds right here. Can you take a look? Let me pull them out of the packet here. Luffa seeds, very slow growing crop, but once it gets going, it's insane. Once it gets going, it's insane. So take a look. That's what a Luffa sounds or looks like. That's the seed. And I'm gonna grow 6 of them because I want to give myself the best chance of success. Freaking manhunt is going on. I'm sorry, guys. Now, with a Luffa seed, I will actually bury this in the ground. I'm not going to just cover it with soil because it's a big seed. So I'm going to put this about maybe 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch down in the soil. I'll make a little depression here with my popsicle stick. I'm sorry, it's hard to see the angle here, but honestly, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just make a depression and put the Luffa down in there. I'm going to do 2 or 3 seeds per hole. Again, with Luffa, I just want to guarantee germination and guarantee success because it's such a long season crop that if you mess it up and you have to restart, you're just going to be in a really bad spot. It's like a 200+ day crop. And so start your seeds early, baby them, cherish them, sing them lullabies, sing them songs, maybe give them a little kiss. You got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. Maybe give them a hug. Maybe write them a poem. Maybe a haiku, you know, maybe sing them a song. I don't know. But you got to do this stuff because if you don't, it's not going to go well. Okay, the Luffa's in the ground. I swear, there's like a legit manhunt happening right now. I feel like every time I come on a live, there's like a manhunt. Because last time I did a live, if you guys remember, straight up manhunt. Okay, Luffa. Let's put these guys in. And let's sprinkle. They're hunting me, guys, because I'm freaking way too epic for this world. They're like this. You know what? They probably think I'm growing something weird, isn't it? All right. Let's do a couple questions here. All right. This is from Tanya Matthews. I live in Las Vegas and our climate's pretty extreme heat and I start my seeds inside, but I've lost a lot of plants already. Advice. It's hard for me to say. I don't know why you've lost those plants. I would say maybe check your conditions. Lighting, if it's too hot in there, it's going to kill the plants, even if it's indoors. So you got to be careful about that. All righty. We've got a question from Benjamin. He's saying, do I plant tomatoes, cucumbers, etc. in zone 10A? So in a warm climate, you can plant your tomatoes about a month earlier-ish or so than you would in a climate where you actually have a true frost, I would say. Man, that is so distracting. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, how do you grow healthy garlic? I've never done it before, and now I'm trying. This is from Jones Willis. Okay, that's a great question. I've struggled growing garlic. If you guys remember, I released a garlic part 1 video on the channel, and then I had a skunk dig it up 3 times, and I had crazy weird like rain dry patterns that kind of rotted it out. So I actually failed growing garlic in my last season pretty bad. But what I would say, garlic in a warm climate, if you want to grow garlic in a warm climate, number 1, go for a soft neck garlic because that's one that's adapted to grow in a warm climate. If you're like, no, I really want to grow garlic, hard neck garlic in a warm climate, then you pretty much have to put it in the fridge for like at least 45 days. I've put mine in the fridge for like 60 days, I would say. It's still in the fridge right now. This coming week, I'm going to be building out a specific garlic bed, and then I'll be planting my hardneck garlic in that bed. But yeah, it's a very challenging plant because it's just a long season plant. It's just a long season plant. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with it. And if you're in a cold climate, what I would say is you generally want to be planting it in November, maybe December if you can get away with it. You plant it pretty deep down, like 4 or 5 inches, throw some mulch on top. And over the course of the winter, you're letting that root system develop on each of the cloves. And then once spring comes, it pops up. You can still do that here in San Diego in warm climates, but I'm pushing it a little bit. I really wanted to what's called vernalize my garlic or store it in the fridge and fake the winter. And then I'm going to plant it out. So I'm a little late technically, but I think I've given it a little bit of a better shot at success this year, especially because I'm growing like 8 varieties of hardneck garlic. I just saw David the Good in here. What's going on, David? Good to see you, man. David's been on the Epic Gardening podcast twice. I've learned a lot from David the Good. Highly, highly recommend you check out his channel. Okay, we're going to do another crop here. Before I forget, I am going to do maybe some flowers. Let's do some flowers. Let's put my gourds back. And we'll do some flowers. Where are they at? Here they are. Okay. Get a couple questions. Oh, David's still in here. What's up, David? Guys, go check out David the Good's YouTube channel. Highly recommend it. Highly, highly recommend it. And yeah, guys, actually, this is a great question. I'm gonna address this, and then I won't answer these questions in the future because it's impossible to answer. Here's a question. What do I grow in zone blank? Hey, Kevin, what do I grow in zone blank? 10A, 7B in this month, right? Here's how you fix that problem. You type in Google, zone 7A planting calendar, and then see what comes up. You figure out your first and last frosts, and you kind of go from there. It's very hard for me or really any gardener out there to answer that question of what do I plant in my specific area? Another thing that you can do, and a lot of people don't do this, but it's a completely free resource, is just Google your city or your zip code, Master Gardener Program or County Extension, and literally just call them on the phone and say, hey, I'm here in San Diego, I'm in zone 10B, I'm inland, or I'm coastal, and what's working well right now? What should I be thinking about planting? The Master Gardener program is literally designed to get you the answer. That's just the answer. And then the other thing that David just said here in the chat is just ask the oldest person you know. I mean, here's the thing about gardening. You really can't get good at it fast. It's hard to get good at it fast because you just have to live a long time. You have to live a lot of seasons to get it under your belt, especially something like a fruit tree. So ask the oldest gardener that has healthy plants that you know, and they will help you out way more than I could ever help you out. Wow. Jerry Raphael, $20 donation. Thank you so much. Hi, what are you growing from Baker Creek? And am I growing kale? If so, what variety? From his son, Nick. All right, what's up, Nick? Okay, Nick, this is what I would say. The 2 varieties of kale that I'm growing this year, 3, excuse me, 3. Let me go find them for you, actually. They're in here. I am growing from Baker Creek. I'm growing red Ursa kale. This one right here. You can see that beautiful red magenta type of stem. Really great kale. It's very compact. The flavor is really good. Now, what I'm growing from San Diego Seed Company that are a little bit better adapted to my region here, this would be Ethiopian kale and black magic kale. Ethiopian kale, I think, is going to be a favorite for the 2021 season for a lot of people. So I highly recommend checking out Ethiopian kale. The flavor is great. Now, if you're in a warm zone, black magic kale is a great one. And the reason why is because black magic kale, even as you move into that warmer climate, like summer, early summer, late fall, it still does fine. It doesn't really want to bolt as much as it normally would. And the flavor still is kind of nice and sweet. Now, I'm going to type something in the chat here. If you like San Diego Seed Company, Brigitte at San Diego Seed Company just hit me up with a discount. It's 20% off any order over $50, I think. And the code is Epic Seeds. So go ahead and do that. All right. Man, I love seeing you in here, David. It's really good to see you in here. You should come back on the podcast soon. I feel like it's long overdue, my man. Long overdue. Gardening Made Easy. Hi, Kevin. I love your channel. I'm a kid. You've inspired me to start my own garden channel. All right. You guys know what to do. You got to go to Gardening Made Easy's YouTube channel and check out their content and throw them a subscribe. If you're a young gardener, I'm here to support. So go check out Gardening Made Easy's channel. Now, again, that discount is 20% off orders over $50 or more at SanDiegoSeedCompany.com. And I think the code is Epic Seeds. If that code doesn't work, because I might be misremembering it, then just message them. Okay, we got a couple donations here. Thank you so much, Greg Mullins, and thank you so much to Nat. Okay. What are we going to plant now, guys? What are we going to plant now? You know what? I really like leeks, so I'm just going to do a whole tray of this Kitazawa seed broadleaved Nira leek right here. So this is going to be sort of my cutting allium, I suppose. I'm going to use it more as like a green onion style approach. We'll see how it goes. Allium's probably one of my favorite families to grow. I love the flavors. I love the varieties. I just love the growth habit. I love everything about them. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay, so this is easy. I mean, you don't even have to plant one per hole. With leeks, especially if you're going to use it as a cutting herb type of leek, then just plant like a bunch of them, and use them sort of as a cluster or a clump, and you're completely fine that way. So broadleaf Nira has gone in the ground. Okay. Hopefully I'm doing a good job on this live, guys. I haven't really done too many lives. So I know, like, if you're like a video game streamer or whatever, you're used to talking all the time while you're playing. That's really hard for me to do when I'm doing this seed starting. So hopefully I'm doing a good job for you guys. All right, Misty. Thanks for all the gardening tips. Stay out of trouble, you troublemaker. I can't promise that. I might be getting in some serious trouble soon. You never know. Okay. Wow. Donations are coming in, guys. Thank you so much. D Will, 20 Canadian dollars. Thank you so much for 1 million subs. I actually went live. Yeah, I've got guys, stay tuned, because tomorrow I'm going to drop a reacting to your gardens video for the 1 million. So I picked about 40 or 50 of your gardens that you sent in, because I got over like 500 photos. I'm going to react. I'm not going to roast it like I used to do on those Blossom videos, but I will react to your gardens. I just wanted to kind of pay it forward and say thank you. And if you guys like the series, I think it's going to be kind of a fun one to see like how everyone's growing in different climates and stuff. All right, what's up next? Let's do some stuff from San Diego Seed Company, because I just dropped their code here. So let's grab some more flowers. Let's see if we can do it. I'm not the best flower grower yet, but I'm going to get better, I promise. And I will bring you guys all along for the journey. So I'm going to try to find, I'm going to do 2 trays worth of flowers. I'm going to pick 6 or so. Lupine. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, I'm going to do cilantro. So this is, here we go. MZ We got a donation from MZ. Thank you so much. It looks like we got one from Amanda Gambrino. Hey, thank you so much. Any suggestions on who to follow online and tips for colder climates? Yeah, I'm going to type it in the chat. My friend Nikki Jabor is probably one of the best ones to do, honestly. Nikki Jabor. I'm going to type it in the chat. She's got a YouTube channel. Her website is called Savvy Gardening. It's a couple friends, and they all kind of grow together, and they blog together. Dude, Nikki Jabur is one of the best cold climate gardeners I know. You probably already know who she is, but there's a ton of photos of her in the middle of winter pulling up a cold frame and just like rocking out with some insane, insane produce. So Nikki Jabur is who I would recommend there. Okay, the Emerald Miner. Hey, man, love everything you do. You really inspired me to dig into gardening. Hey, you know I like a gardening pun. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Again, most of this income I send straight over to my employee, Clarissa, who has got some, she's just going through a hard time, so we try to support her. Okay, we're talking cilantro. Cilantro, everyone has problems growing cilantro, I feel like. And the reason why, in my experience, is because most people grow cilantro in the wrong season. Most people grow cilantro in the wrong season. It's a crop you think of in the summer because you're thinking like salsas, you know, guacamoles, Mexican foods, things like that. It doesn't really grow that well in the summer. It bolts super easy. It's pretty rough. So, and take a look at the seed. So it's kind of a weird seed. It's sort of like almost like a Chinese lantern type of situation where it has this sort of hull here that's very light. Like, for example, I can just crush this. Look, easy to crush. Easy to crush. And so that can be hard to rehydrate. So a lot of people have a problem rehydrating their seeds, and a lot of people just grow cilantro simply in the wrong season. So in this case, you want to bury your cilantro maybe about a 1/4 inch deep or so. I'm using a tray here. See how this tray is a little bit lower? That's fine. That's about a 1/4 inch. So I'm just going to surface sow 3 cilantro seeds per. Again, crops, in my experience, crops that you grow for their leafy greens, if you want to, you don't even have to thin the seeds out. You can just use it as sort of like a little cut and come again type of thing. Now that will impact if you want to grow like a massive cilantro plant, you're going to want to have one per every maybe 6 inches or so. But you can do it this way if you want. Just throw a bunch in. I'm putting 3-4 seeds in because I want them to germinate. This one is, this variety is Calypso cilantro. So this one I would highly recommend if you have a hard time with it bolting. It's a little slower to bolt. There's also another cilantro called, aptly named, Slow Bolt Cilantro that does a really good job at that. So let's just label this really quick, Calypso. And let's make sure we cover this one up with some extra soil here. Boom. Okay. All right, let's get a couple questions going on. I see we have some more donations coming in. I want to get to those because it's just very, I mean, it's just so generous, super, super generous. Looks like we have one from C. Powell. Thank you so much. $25. Wow, that's crazy. I mean, please never donate to me, ever. Never, ever donate to me unless that money is an afterthought to you. I don't ever want anyone to donate like their last dollars, their last coffee. Like, I'm doing completely fine over here. I don't need the donations. I appreciate them from the bottom of my heart. I don't need them. And so if it's ever a struggle, just don't do it. Just really don't do it. Take the info and go garden. Okay, questions here. All right. Sean Evans, what's the ideal lighting, temperature, and distance for grow lights? I'm assuming you mean starting seeds. Lighting temperature, you're going to want to be more on the cool side, aka the blue-purple spectrum, which I believe, I always forget which side of it is. I think it's the 2700K, but that could be the orange-blue. I always forget. As far as distance from the canopy, basically as close as you can get to these seedlings without burning them is your best bet. That's just your best bet because no matter what, you're not really going to get close to replicating sunlight, which is where they would prefer to be growing. And so I would say as close as you can get without burning them is your best bet. Generally speaking, if you're using like a T5 fluorescent type of light, that's probably like 6 inches, 8 inches or so. If you're using a more powerful light, probably like 18 to 24 inches or so. I like to use for my seed starting, honestly, I'll use one of those really long T5 fluorescent shop lights, something you'd find at like a Home Depot or in a workshop. It'll span a nice distance. I can stack like 1, 2, 3, 4 trays, and it covers the whole thing, and you're good to go out of the gate for maybe like $50 or something like that. Okay, another question here. Benjamin Brody, have I ever planted ornamental banana? I have not planted banana. I will be growing banana, but I have not planted banana from seed. Okay. Ina Point says, do I ship the Birdies raised beds to Canada? Yes, I do. Ina, you can email me, kevin@epicgardening.com. We'll ship them out to Canada for you. MZ, Kevin, you are fab. Do I intend to have bees? Bees are my buds. Okay. Yes, I will have bees. So my friend, her name is Hillary. Her Instagram is called Girl Next Door Honey. I really recommend actually you check out Hillary's Instagram. She's got some great content there. She is an exceptional beekeeper. And I asked her, she's local here in San Diego. I said, hey, Hillary, should I get bees now? Should I get them later? And she said, bees should be one of the last things I add to my homestead property because you want to actually know where the ornamentals are. You want to know where your garden is, your fruit trees, all that before you get bees. And so she said, go ahead and wait on the bees. Okay, one more question. I'm going to plant another one here. All right. Let's see. Sorry, it's hard for me to parse all of this. Can you transplant carrots? My son threw a handful of seeds into a pot of mine and they're growing, but not exactly where I want them. LOL. I mean, carrots, I would say don't transplant carrots. They're really difficult. I'm not going to say it's like straight up impossible, but it's really not recommended. So if you want the hack to grow carrots, or at least the hack that I've used, is you take your first of all, you want really nice sort of sandy loam soil. You want a soil that taproot can just straight up penetrate through. And then second, what you really want is you want to keep that surface moist while they're germinating, because carrots are very sensitive germinators. Once you get them past that germination phase, you're fine. I mean, it's a taproot style plant. They're holding water. They're a pretty hardy plant. But once you just got to get them past germination. And so in order to do that, what I like to do is, let's just say this was a little plot and I was going to direct sow my carrots in my garden bed. This is like a raised garden bed now. You would just cover it with something. Cover it with like some burlap, some jute cloth, a paper towel even, something that won't blow away, so that when it germinates, it holds a little bit more of that moisture in and you're going to be in a good spot. All righty. Let's do one more question. Oh, someone wants the bee channel. So that's at Girl Next Door Honey on IG. I typed that in the chat there. Miggy wants to know if I'm doing calamondine or calamansi. I'm going to be planting it, but I won't be planting it from seed. I'll be planting it from a straight up just from a tree. It's too hard for me to grow it from seed. It's too slow. I'm not about that slow life. I will try to grow fruit trees from seed, but for the major orchard project I'm going to be doing, I can't show you because it's hard to kind of move the camera, but I'll move it really quickly. Out there, can you see that? That's all of my trees that I have right now. So I just haven't done the tree video here on the YouTube channel, but I have like 20 trees that I've got, maybe 25 trees that I've got that I'm going to be planting. All right, Victoria C, congrats on 1 million. 2020 newbie gardener. It's summer here, 2 large raised beds. All my planted vegetables have fruited and all pretty much at half height. Any tips to go full size? Oh, I think what you're saying is they're a little smaller than they normally would be, or they normally should be. That's tough. It's hard to answer exactly why that would be, but I would say probably you're looking at maybe a watering issue, didn't get enough water early on in its life, maybe a fertilizing issue, the soil didn't have enough fertilizer, wasn't able to really get there, maybe it was a conditions issue, not enough light, etc. So, okay, another question from Emerald Worm. I missed your employee's name, but we all got to stick together. Yeah, guys, it's really crazy. I mean, you guys here on YouTube, here on Instagram, I did a fundraiser last year. So my employee, her name is Clarissa. She's in the Philippines. She's one of the first people that I ever started working with in the epic gardening world. And she does a lot of the research, a lot of the data collection for us. She just helps out a lot with a lot of different things. And she messaged me saying she couldn't work because her husband, June, had some sort of accident. And I was like, what's going on? And she said he had a brain injury. I didn't really get much more than that at the time. And it turns out that he was basically incapacitated for months due to a brain. They thought it was an abscess at the start. Then they thought it was cancer. Then they thought it was a condition called NMOSD, which is sort of an ocular neurological thing. And basically, she was like, I can't work. I'm in the hospital all the time, and I just can't do anything. But he can't work either, and he makes most of the money. And in the Philippines, you're not making that much money, honestly. I mean, I pay Clarissa very well, probably double market rate at this point. But even then, it's just not enough to live off of. And so she's like, I'm gonna have to sell my car. I'm gonna have to like move out of my house. And I'm like, no, you're not. We'll take care of you. And so I, put a little GoFundMe up, and I was really scared kind of to share it with all you guys, but I did share it, and you guys really came through. So we raised like $15,000 for Clarissa, which is literally like the same amount of money over there that would be, I would say, somewhere around 70 grand US is probably the equivalency rate as far as how far that money goes. So we basically just like gave her a year's worth of salary altogether, which is just crazy. So anyways, that's that story. I'm going to plant another seed here, and let's keep on going. So there's some stuff I want to plant. Oh, the flowers. I forgot we had to do the flowers. Okay, so we're going to be doing amaranth. I'm actually going to plant 6 of because I really like amaranth. Amaranth is technically a grain, but most of us don't really grow it for that purpose. We grow it just sort of as like a nice ornamental plant. This is a burgundy amaranth. Now, amaranth, take a look. I'm going to see if I can show you. See how small those seeds are? Those seeds are absolutely tiny. Generally speaking, the smaller the seed, the less deep you're going to want to plant it, the more you're going to want to kind of broadcast it over the surface and just kind of sprinkle it over the top. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. And you could be a little liberal here. Small seeds, oftentimes you have like thousands in a packet because it's just hard to separate them out. So I've got a ton of amaranth here. Let me show you what it looks like if you're unfamiliar with amaranth. It kind of has this beautiful burgundy look. And it's just gorgeous. I mean, just gorgeous plant. In fact, amaranth is one of the first crops I ever grew as a microgreen when I was growing microgreens. And I was selling them to restaurants here in San Diego. One of the first like plant businesses I ever started. So I have a kind of a soft spot in my heart, I guess, for amaranth. Fantastic crop. So burgundy amaranth, when you surface sow it like this, I still cover it with a little bit of soil, not too much, but a little bit. Make sure I keep it nice and moist. Looks like we got another donation there. Greg Mullins. Hey, thank you so much, Greg. $19.99. $19.99. You know that $19.99 is like a sales tactic, right? It's supposed to make it seem like it's not $20, but it actually is $20. I see what you're doing there, Greg. Trying to trick me with your generosity. All right. Everyone who says I'm drinking beer, I'm not. This is a candle. It's a candle, okay? It's not a beer. It's a beer that has candle wax inside of it. So I'm not actually drinking any beer. Not that I'm against it, but I wouldn't be drinking Miller Lite. I'd be drinking Sierra Nevada. And secret for all of you here on the live stream, I'm going to be working with Sierra Nevada Brewing Company this year, and I've had a couple of their team on the podcast, and we actually have a freaking epic giveaway planned, but I can't say any more right now. But let me just tell you this. It has to do with the raised beds that I sell. It has to do with the Birdie's beds, and I'm legitimately so stoked about it, but I just can't tell you anything about it right now. But let's keep on going. We're going to do more flowers. So here's some random stuff that I've never grown that's supposed to do well in my area. So Strawberry Fields Gomphrena. Never grown this. Pretty exciting, though. We're going to do Formula Mix Scabiosa. Again, never grown Scabiosa. And then we're going to do a Nigella. Miss Jekyll. Eric Bone says, happy birthday, Kathleen. Shout out to you, Kathleen. Happy birthday. Looks like Eric Bone loves you. $5 worth of love to get the shout out. All right. Nigella, Miss Jekyll. Again, guys, if you have more experience growing flowers than me, then definitely chime in here. But I'm just going to start it as it says on the pack. So it looks like we got 1/16 inch planting depth, space at least 9 inches apart. Okay. A lot of the times flowers you don't start in trays like this, but I'm going to do it anyways because why not? And let's just see what happens. So we're going to do some of those. I'll just maybe do a 6-pack of each because I realize that there's no way I'm getting to the end of this entire tray unless I kind of speed it up here. So, and I've already been on for like an hour. All right. So that one was Nigella. Where did I put my pen? There we go. All right. Let's rest the voice for a second here, guys. if you are in the chat, I want everyone to kind of know each other, you know? So I want everyone to have a sense of like who you guys are, especially if I do more chats like this. And so if you are on Facebook, I do have a Facebook group. It's called Just Epic Gardening, and you can look it up on Facebook and we will approve you shortly. If you're on something else, then I'm Just Epic Gardening everywhere else. Zachary Bird, I got my first house in July. Wow, okay. Zachary Bird, he's got 1,000 of 2,500 square foot for gardening, slowly filling with raised beds, 5, 7, and 10-gallon grow bags. A lot of the info he's gotten from me. Hey, man, I'm really stoked. Congratulations on that first house. This is my first house here. I remember the feeling. It was absolutely amazing. So congrats, man, and I'm glad it's helping you out. I'm really glad it's helping you out. Okay, we're going to do, let's see. Let's do the Scabiosa here. What does it say here? Beautiful cut flower arrangement. We want to go 1/16 inch deep, about 10 to 14 days for germination. Transplant out. Okay, this is a good one. This is one I can actually transplant out. Ooh, take a look at these seeds. These Scabiosa seeds look gnarly. Flower seeds always look weird. Look at this. Can you see that? It's like a little trumpet. Look at that. It's like a little weird trumpet. That's so stupid. Sorry, you just had to witness that. Spicy mustache. Oh my God, guys. Guys, everyone who followed Spicy Mustache and just hit him up and said he's the Italian god of gardening, he's in the chat now. Spicy Mustache is in here. What's up, man? Guys, Spicy Mustache is amazing guy. Amazing guy. You guys gotta keep going, subscribing to Spicy Mustache. Never call him Spicy Mustache and always call him the Italian god of gardening, because that's what he is. That's exactly what he is. All right, in go the Scabiosa here. 1, 2. I'm gonna be a little aggressive. I don't know how this germinates yet. I've yet to grow it, and so I'm gonna sow it maybe 2 or 3 per, just to guarantee. Man, these are really cool looking seeds. I'll tell you that though. Buy this just for the seeds. Buy this just for the seeds. Apparently, this is a good cut flower, so we will see how that goes. I may have a little bit of a little flower garden here. Your boy is starting to grow some flowers, some flowies. All right, let's cover these guys up. It seems like flowers in general, you want to be sowing at a shallower depth, maybe like 1/8 to 1/16 of an inch seems to be the recommendation. I don't really know why that would be, except for to guess that when flowers go to seed, most of the time they're wind germinated and they probably just fall on the surface and they're covered by little debris, and then that's how they germinate. That's my guess as far as why they're that small. That shallow germination. Okay, let's do a couple questions here. Mary White says, I bought 2 of your birdies raised beds, plan on buying more. Thank you for all you do. Hey, hit me up. If you've already bought some birdies beds, please hit me up. We're going to try to take care of you with some discounts in the future and some special bonuses and stuff. Because once you're in the birdies beds family here at Epic Gardening, we will do our best to make sure that we get you like the best deals, the earliest deals on stuff, all that kind of stuff. All righty. Let me label this one real quick before I forget. That was, where is it? That was Formula Mix Scabiosa. Okay. I should bring some kind of like drink out here next time, guys. I should bring some like kombucha or something. Okay, this one, a lot of people have said it's kind of hard for them to grow. This is Gomphrena, Strawberry Fields Gomphrena. I've never grown it. I actually don't even know, besides the photo, that I've really seen it too much. And so this one was given to me again by Brigitte over at San Diego Seed Company. You can see the logo's right there. Look at the San Diego skyline is chilling out right there. Again, for those of you who are new on the live stream right now, Brigitte and I, we work pretty closely together. She actually is really close to me. And I just really love supporting her business. It's been fun to see it grow. And what she's done for everyone in the Epic Gardening world is give us a discount. So if you're still trying to get seeds, Brigitte is in stock right now, which is actually kind of rare. A lot of companies are actually running out of stock, but Brigitte is in stock. Her company is called San Diego Seed Company. It's just sanDiegoSeedCompany.com. And she's given us a discount, 20% off, which is actually a pretty massive discount on seeds of this quality. for orders over $50, which if you're like me, you're blowing money on seeds. I blow money. I can easily get to $50. The discount is Epic Seeds. So Epic Seeds at www. Oops, hold on. Epic Seeds. I can't do it because I have like a Epic Seeds at www.sandiegoseedcompany.com. I just want to show her some love because she's been really nice and generous with me over here. So I typed it in the chat there. If someone could maybe like figure out a way to propagate that information out there in the chat, that'd be great. Okay. The Gomfrina is in. So we have 2 more trays here. Only 2 more. We're almost done, guys. I know you've been waiting for me to get off this live so you can go live your life. Okay. Strawberry Gomfrina. Let's do a couple questions here. Oh, wow. Okay. Alyssa Gobel says, I'm raising my first citrus tree, a yuzu, indoors. It seems like the soil went way too alkaline over the past couple months. Is there a way to raise acidity without repotting? Yeah, I mean, you can add sulfur into your bed or into your pot. It takes some time, though, for that to happen. It takes some time for it to actually drop. So that would be a way to do it. I would say if it's, I'm curious how it would have gone to alkaline. I'm actually really curious. So maybe I'll do a video on that in the future because I'm actually trying to get a yuzu right now, and I will be doing something on citrus in containers pretty soon. Nick Farinacci, I bought a house in November. I'm one of 6 of channels that helped with growing. This year he can't afford raised beds, but he's excited to upgrade later. Hey man, sounds like a lot of people got new houses this year or got houses for the first time. I'm really stoked to hear that, really happy. And man, I bet you're excited. So I'm excited to hear kind of what you do, and hopefully you get some raised beds in the future. All right. Passionate Fruit says, dragon fruit tip, don't plant your cuttings too deep, literally a ½ inch to an inch below the soil. 3 is too much. Yeah, 100%. 100% agree with that. I've made that mistake before. You just want to make sure that it stays in the soil because planting it a ½ to an inch deep is pretty tough to make it stay up. So I like to kind of tie it to my trellis if I do that. All right. Max Cohn, have I ever grown saltwort? I have not grown saltwort, my friend. I have not grown saltwort. All right. Let's do one more question, and I'm going to do, oh, we got a donation coming through. Okay, this is from Nissia Learns. Hey, Cav, when you get a chance, I was wondering how strong the LED grow lights should be for indoor grow vegetables. Yeah, this is a good question. So let me do a quick primer on indoor grow lights. This is not going to be an extensive guide, but it will help you a little bit. So number 1 with grow lights, you have the spectrum output. That would be the actual wavelength of light that is putting out. You can have what's called a full spectrum, which is supposed to put out more or less close to the entire spectrum of light. Whether it does so or not, that's a story for another time. Then you can also have the intensity of the light. Or so basically, the way to think about that, and I have a video on this called How to Evaluate an LED Grow Light. It's called the micromoles per joule, which basically, think about it this way. So there's a light above my head right now, right? So if you look, these lights are sitting up here, right? What's happening? Well, electricity is going in to that light. It is heating up a filament, and that filament, well, these are LEDs, so it's not that way. A diode is emitting photons, right? The photons are kind of coming down. So photons are their waves and their particles. Think of them as particles. Think of them kind of as like raindrops, right? So when the photons are raining down on you, what you want to know is how many are coming out over a certain area. And so that's kind of when you see these grow lights and they have these numbers on like a grid footprint layouts, like a 2x2 footprint, and it'll say like 100, 300, 700. It's telling you the density level of the photons that are hitting that particular area. Now that's very technical, that's very sort of nerdy and all that. And so the best way to think about it, especially when you're growing seeds, is just get something that's in your budget that has some good reviews and will cover the amount of space that you're growing in. So if you have a garden and you're only growing maybe this many seeds for your whole year, nothing wrong with that. You just don't need that big of a light. You need a light that's like maybe a 1 foot by 1 foot little LED panel that'll just boom, blast light right here. Another thing you could do is get like I said earlier on in the live stream, get a shop light, like a T5 fluorescent shop light with those long tubes. Boom, put it really close to the surface and you're in a good spot for success. Hopefully that answers, but I'm going to answer, I'll probably do another full video on that. Ryan Halverson says, please, where is it? Where'd it go? Please share any organic water fertilizers for seedling starts that I'm aware of. I really like Espoma Organic stuff. Again, I'm sponsored by Espoma Organic, but there's a reason for that. It's because it's good. I didn't like get sponsored and then say it's good. It's good, so I wanted to get sponsored, and then I got sponsored. And so, yeah, I really like Espoma Organics, just all around grow fertilizer. And what you can do is dilute it a little bit and feed it to your seedlings. It does perfectly fine. Okay, let me figure out a couple more things to grow here. I got 2 more trays to plant. I'm going to do more flowers here. So let's get flowers out of the actual container that I've got here. No, I'm going to try, actually, I'm going to try this. And do I have another one? I'm going to grow some catnip. I'm going to grow some catnip. Okay, so this is Amazing Gray Poppy. This one, actually, I believe I could only find at Baker Creek last year, but it looks like Botanical Interest is also carrying it. So Amazing Gray Poppy, one of those seed packs that comes in like a tiny little bit of thing here. We got a donation here. This is from Paper Julie. First house, but in the city and only on a concrete backyard. Can you put a birdie's bed on it and do no dig on concrete? Yeah, so if you're going to put a raised bed, whether it's a birdie's bed or otherwise on concrete, what you want to do is you want to get, it depends. If you want to stain the concrete and you don't mind, then just put it on concrete and put some landscape fabric down. But I'm assuming you don't want to do that, and I wouldn't want to either. And so what you want to do is get, it's called a geotextile fabric. So Google geotextile fabric, and then if you have your bed, so here's the sides of your bed and here's the bottom, you want to run it up the interior edge of the bed till about like 6 inches below the top of the bed. And then from there, you're in a good spot, and you've basically created like a little bathtub, so to speak. Now, what you have to remember there, Paper Julie, is you have to remember to actually not overwater, because then it's not draining out, right? And so you've prevented the drainage, but you've saved your concrete. So that's what I would say there. Okay, I'm going to be really careful about this this poppy, because these seeds are tiny. I mean, I can't even show them to you. They're that tiny, and I don't even think I have that many in here. But I tried to grow Amazing Gray Poppies last year. It didn't go that well. Yeah, these are the smallest seed I planted today. I mean, I'll try to show you guys. They're really small. Look, do you see that little freckle on the top of my finger? That's the seed. That's how small it is. So these guys, let's take a look. When to sow outside, recommended. Yeah, when to start inside, not recommended, does not translate well. So don't do what I'm doing right now, I guess. That's fine. We're going to still see if it works or not. It's very hard. I can see why they say this, though, because it's hard for me to even know if I've put these in the right section. But I'm just going to surface sow these. It says light aids germination, which means don't cover it up too much. And so what I'll do is, instead of covering it up with soil, I'm just going to press it down with my finger here. Just press each of these cells down and depress it into the soil, but I won't actually cover it up. So we'll see if that works out for us. Hopefully it does. Poppies, actually really easy to grow here. Our state flower in California is the California poppy. So quite easy to grow. They grow as a wildflower here, but I haven't grown the Amazing Gray Poppy yet. So we will see how that goes for me. One more tray to plant, guys. Okay, poppy. I'm going to give you guys the dealer's choice on what I should plant. Oh, no. I'm doing catnip. Alrighty, a couple questions here. Someone says they're giving up on gardening. Tamisha B says they're giving up. You can't give up, Tamisha. Tamisha B, you cannot give up on gardening this year. Everyone send Tamisha B some vibes. Send her the vibes. We need to give her some green thumb vibes. Liz Kuiper, thank you so much for your insight. We are all brighter by the light of your wonderful soul, and our plants are much happier. Wow, very nice of you, Liz. Thank you so much for that. That means a lot. Thank you. Okay, I want to see people giving Tamisha B some good vibes. There we go. Matthew, giving her some vibes. That's what I like to hear. Okay. Catnip is going in the ground last. Let's read this. When to start inside, 6 to 8 weeks before your first frost. Go 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch deep, and it takes about 10 to 15 days. And the reason why I'm doing catnip here is because I actually have like 3 or 4 wild cats, I think. Maybe they're owned by someone. I'm not actually sure. But they're in my yard, so why not grow catnip? And I noticed they're digging up some of my beds. So I'm going to grow catnip and I'm going to plant it very far away from my beds. So hopefully it lures them over there and they stop messing with my urban medicinal garden bed. We'll see if it works. I don't really know, but I've seen cats go legitimately insane for catnip, so it should work. It should work. Maybe you guys have some comments on catnip out there that you can share with me. Okay, this one needed to be planted about 1/8 to 1/4 inch deep, so we do put a little bit of soil on top. That's our final one for today's live stream. Man, these are fun. I kind of like a live stream, honestly. I've only done like one ever before in my life here on YouTube. I kind of like it. All right, that was catnip. It's cool to get like feedback from you guys in real time and get like experiences and shout outs and stuff like that. It's just really fun. Okay, so I'm going to chill here for a little bit. You guys just have to give me 1 second to run and grab something to drink. So hold on, it's going to be like 30 seconds. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. All right. We back, baby. Okay, I got some kombucha here. Let's answer some questions. Let me get a sip of this first, though. I'm loving seeing the Tamisha encouragement, guys. I love that. I love that. All right. Okay. Ooh, that tastes good. Ooh, that tastes good. Okay. All right. How should I transplant out of an arrow garden? Honestly, just pick it up. You might want to trim some roots because it's growing hydroponically, and then transplant it out into the soil. Should be fine. Got a donation from Daniel Aguirre. Did I know the Western monarch is going extinct? Yeah, slowly, actually quicker than we would want. Deborah says, talk about your books, please. Okay, Deborah. Book number 1, the book that came out last year or the year before. I don't even remember, but it's called Field Guide to Urban Gardening, How to Grow Plants No Matter Where You Live. This one is the flagship book. It's the only book I have out right now. The next book is called Grow Bag Gardening. And of course, as the name would imply, it's all about growing in grow bags. So I'm going to send you guys a link to the shop. If you want to pick up signed copies, I have signed copies of Field Guide to Urban Gardening right now. So you can either grab it for yourself or send it to a friend. Of course, you don't have to do anything. You can get it on Amazon if you want. It just helps out Epic Gardening more if you get it directly from me instead of from Amazon. So I'll toss that link in there for you guys. Can I like pin a link or something? Is that possible? Let me see. I don't know how to do it. Oh, I can. Okay, there. We'll do that. Tell me if that got pinned, guys. Okay, questions. All right. Oh my gosh, this is hard to follow. Let me try. Thoughts on growing dragon fruit in zone 9A? You can definitely grow dragon fruit in zone 9A. Don't worry about that. You just might have to wrap it in the winter time, because if it gets below about 45 degrees Fahrenheit for too long, then you're in a bad spot and it's probably gonna die. Or at least it's gonna have some issues. How do I start strawberries? I've tried several times with no luck. I've never started strawberries from seeds. I always opt to buy starts with strawberries, so I can't really help you out too much on that one. I'm sorry. Lulu P. Best way to get Japanese beetle grubs out of my soil, preferably not using chemicals for obvious reasons. That's a great question. Oh, if you hold Alt, it pauses the chat. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. If you're trying to get rid of, Japanese beetles, a great way to do that is something called milky spore. It's an organic method. Look up milky spore, and that should help you out. And thank you so much for that donation. Yeah, I'm trying to answer. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really trying to answer the donation questions. I'm doing my absolute best. It's hard for me to do a good job here. I've not I've not done a lot of live streams. Okay, so I'm trying my absolute best here. Okay. Do I know a good organic seed company? Yeah, San Diego Seed Company, Kitazawa Seed Company. We just recommended them. Have I ever used Harpin Protein? I have not. Leslie Stanhoff wants to know where my pizza is. Yeah, how do you put the chat on slow mode? How do you do that? Let me try it. I don't know if I can. I don't know. I don't want to mess around with it. I'll just keep rolling for now. We'll do a little bit more live questions, maybe like 10 minutes or so until I finish up my kombucha here. Do I prefer bush beans or pole beans, and what varieties do I recommend for growing beans for drying, and how to grow beans for drying? I usually I grow a bush bean, so I like a dragon's tongue bean is my favorite bean of all time. Not Blue Lake, Purple Lake, Bush Lake. Bush Lake is a good one. Honestly, it's really interesting because a lot of the varieties that I used to love, I'm going to be at least trying new varieties now because every variety I grew in my old garden was a variety selected for small spaces. So I went bush peas, I went bush tomatoes, I went bush beans because I didn't have a lot of space. Now I have an absolute boatload of space. And so I'm going to be growing a lot of different varieties. Like you saw earlier, let me try to find it here. I'm going to be growing yard-long beans this year. These beans are very, very big. And so I'm going to be mixing it up a little bit. Okay, Desolator Magic. I need to eliminate spider mites, but will diatomaceous earth kill pollinating insects too? Honestly, I don't think diatomaceous earth is your best bet for spider mites. Spider mites are very weak pests. So one of the best things you can do as a preliminary measure is to take your hose and just blast them off. I do this with aphids as well. I don't even spray. I saw aphids on my cabbage a couple of days ago. I just blasted them off, and then some of them still were there. Like 3 days later, I blasted those ones off, and there haven't been aphids on the plant since. And so a very similar approach can work for spider mites. We have a $20 from Ellen Quang for Clarissa. Hey, Ellen, thank you so much for that. That's going to go straight over to Clarissa, and that's just very, very, very generous of you. Okay, Kevin, no giveaway for hitting 1 million. Congrats, buddy. We're doing an epic giveaway in spring. So don't worry, there's going to be some more giveaways. I just don't want to do like really kind of cheesy, stupid giveaways. I want to do giveaways that are, if I'm going to do a giveaway, I'm going to make it really epic and really fun for you guys. Okay, we got one from Nick Farinacci. Neighbor's yard has wild rabbits and there are slugs in my yard. Any advice for protecting my garden? So if you have rabbits, you almost always are going to have to either have a taller bed of some kind. But I remember, Nick, you said that you didn't have enough money for beds this year. And so what you might want to do is get like some sort of PVC hoops and then net your garden so that the rabbits can't get in. And as far as slugs go, one thing that can help you with slugs is you can kind of move the mulch away from the base of your plants. And that can at least help a little bit because they're going to want to hang out underneath that mulch layer. And if they're at least a little bit away from your plants, that can help. You can try diatomaceous earth around the base of your plants, almost like a vampire ring type of approach. But I have to be honest, slugs I don't battle with in my particular garden. I have a lot more flying pests I deal with. And so I'm not probably the best person to ask about that. Tammy says, please talk more about shoulder seasons. I'm in 10B, 10 minutes from the coast. Okay, so let's go back to the shoulder season thing. Your classic season, right? You have spring up top, then you've got summer, then you have fall, then you have winter, right? And you go in this cycle and we live through our years. So like Tammy, like myself, if you're in a warmer zone, you don't really have a true winter almost ever. And our winters, in fact, in our climates are getting even shorter. And so what you want to think about it as is the end of spring, summer, and the beginning of fall is your warm season. It's either warming up, very warm, or cooling down slightly, right? Then your late fall, winter, and early spring, that's your cool season, right? So it's cooling down, it's cold, or it's slightly getting warmer, right? The intersection between those two, between, let's say, late fall and winter, late summer and early fall to fall, and then late winter to spring is your shoulder season, where you can either opt in a warm climate to grow the thing you were growing longer or start something that you want to start earlier. So let me explain this so it makes sense. Let's say you're growing tomatoes. Tomatoes are going to grow in the warm season, right? Your summer classic crop. Now, if you want to, you can opt to let your tomatoes grow into October and November in a warm climate, and you're completely fine. Now, what you're giving up is the ability to grow something else in that space, right? So the other option for you would be to take those tomatoes out and start an entire crop of cabbage, an entire crop of potatoes, brassicas, things like that, right then. So you get to start earlier. So that's the best way I would describe shoulder seasons for you. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps. Zachary Bird says, when you do live streams, announce them by at least a day. Yeah, I just decided to do this one randomly, so that's a great call. I will announce it earlier in the future for sure. Okay. Hey, I'm the guy with the pumpkin question and the $5 super chat on a financed IOU. I can't. Hey, K-Lai, can you re-ask that question, because I can't see the super chat, but I will. I'm going to scan this and make sure that I can see that question. Suzette Woods, am I getting in more garden straw? Yes, in spring I'll be getting more garden straw. If you go to my shop, shop.epicgardening.com, type your email in. I'll email everyone when the garden straw comes back out. K-Val, what advice can you give to a beginner gardener? I would say grow something you really, really want to eat and don't go overboard. If you grow something you want to eat, you're going to care about it more. You're going to actually do something to it. And then if you don't go overboard, you're not going to get discouraged if you mess up. Sister Marcel's Backyard Garden, Meyer Lemon Part 1. I need to do the Part 2 video. I'm a little slow on that video for sure. So sorry about that. Okay. How long after your seeds germinate do you stop using the heat mat? I mean, you don't really need it after that point. As soon as they germinate, you're probably fine without it. Renato Luna, great to see you in here. And yes, I do need a night camera. I just need a better camera in general. I'm off of my laptop right now. I totally know that. Matthew Langdon, we've got a donation chat here. I don't see any question there. John De La Loza says, what bush peas and tomato varieties do you recommend? So I really like Dragon's Tongue, like I mentioned. Desiree Dwarf Blauschocker pea, I really like. And then any tomato that has the word bush or patio in it, I think is great. Patio Queen, I think might be one of them. But any tomato that has the word patio in it or bush is going to be a good idea. All right. Kevin, I have a Meyer lemon that I grew from seed. Will the tree yield lemons? Yes, it will. But you may not get a Meyer, I don't think, because I'm pretty sure all the Meyers these days are grafted, which means that it might not be true to type. I'm not 100% sure though. You should get some kind of lemon, but I'm not 100% certain on if it would be a Meyer lemon or not. Fresh and zesty food. When should I throw out seeds that do not have an expiration date? Generally speaking, your seeds are going to last you like minimum 2 years, maximum 5+, I would say, maybe even 10 years. Depends on the seed and depends on how you store them. You want to store them in about 40-ish degrees, 40, 45 degrees, and you want to store them in a dark place, and you want to store them in a place that doesn't have a lot of, it can't be very damp. You don't want a lot of moisture in the air. Are there succulent seeds? Yes, succulent seeds do exist. Any word on the hydroponic setup in the background of one of my videos? That's from Brandon Burrell. I can't talk about that yet. That's actually for a different channel. So I'll be talking about that as soon as the video comes out. It's going to be really exciting. It's going to be really fun. So there we go. I know there's some questions that I missed, guys, and I am really sorry about that. I really am. I've never done a live like this. I didn't expect 1,000 people to be on here. And I didn't expect the donations and stuff to come through. So I'm doing as much as I can. And if you have a question, shoot it to me on Instagram at Epic Gardening. If I didn't answer your question and you did a super chat donation, I feel really bad. And so send me a DM on Instagram and I will do as much as you can. The Bubba News says, were my tomatoes higher than normal this past year? Ours were way too high. If you mean like tall, then no, mine came out normally. My peas always seem to get powdery mildew. Is that just the end of the cycle when it gets too warm, or can you do something different? I mean, when your peas are coming to the end of their expected life, they're going to be definitely more susceptible to disease. So I would definitely watch out. But if you're getting it early on, then you're probably going to want to do some control there. So you're going to want to do like a hydrogen peroxide spray can work. Sometimes spraying with compost tea I've seen can work. And you're going to want to make sure that maybe trellis your peas up. Use a pea trellis and you're going to be in a good spot there, because the airflow is better. That's why I'm saying that. You want the airflow to be better so it's not, the spores just aren't landing all over your peas. Waleed says, when are chickens coming to the homestead? As soon as I can get a coop built or bought. I've really been looking at those Carolina coops, carolinacoops.com. I'm obsessed with the Carolina coops, and I'd love to work with them, but I don't think they're too keen on it. We'll see. Either way, they're just very expensive luxury coops that have a lot of bells and whistles, but honestly, I don't really spend money on anything besides gardening stuff. And so I figure if you're going to spend the money, you might as well spend it on that. And I'm almost close to pulling the trigger on the Carolina coops. Okay, question from 26Me. What is your opinion and advice on doing an indoor greenhouse for starting plants now? Recommended. If you're in zone 5, like you seem to be, I would recommend it. You want to get a head start on your season. You don't have a long growing season. You really, really, really want to get a head start on that. And I would say grabbing a little greenhouse and getting some grow lights is a good idea. My Instagram for Susan's Creative is Epic Gardening, just one word. All right. Have I tried a cloudberry from Aaron Bigman? I have not tried a cloudberry. Renato says, have some of my writers look at this chat. Yeah, next time I'll probably have some moderators here in the chat. That's a great idea. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to leave maybe about 5 more minutes for some last minute questions here, but it's been an hour and a half and my voice is getting a little hoarse. And the kombucha is not helping. So let's do a couple more questions here and then I'm going to sign off. But hey, thank you so much for joining. This was actually really fun. I had a good time and I will try to do more in the future. Okay. Deshaun Lockett says, I'm new to growing. I have peas growing, but no production. The bottom is dry and I've only got a total of 3 peas. Number one, could be like a transplant issue unless you direct sowed. Sometimes peas don't transplant that well, I've noticed. Number two, could be a watering issue. If the bottom is drying out and you're not getting a lot of pea production, could be that the roots are simply a little bit too dry and they're just kind of struggling. And then number three, sometimes with peas, what I've noticed is it takes a little bit for them to get established in the first couple weeks. The bottom will yellow and it will crisp a little bit, and then it will kind of go off and go crazy. And so I would say part of it could just simply be that it needs a little bit more time. It just takes a little bit, I've noticed, to get established. The Bubba News, best place I recommend for heirloom non-GMO seeds to purchase from. That's going to be from my friend Bridget over at SanDiegoSeedCompany.com. I would say she's my favorite. She's who I do most of. And then you can use the code EPIC SEEDS, EPIC SEEDS, all one word, for 20% off your order of $50 or more. So it's a pretty slamming deal, honestly. I don't get like a cut or anything like that. It's just a great way to support her. Spooky Cat Gaming. How do I know if a watermelon isn't getting enough water? I would look at the leaves of the plant first. If they're getting some wilting, I mean, wilting in midday is fine. That's normal, that they're very large leaves. But I would say you're going to want to watch the leaves of the plant. And if they're wilting at any other point in time, I would say give it some water. Also, just check the actual soil. Sarah Goucha, do I know Justin Rhodes? I don't know Justin Rhodes, but I have seen his channel before. Okay. Let's do a couple more questions here. We have just bought a seed sprouting kit and my seeds keep getting leggy. If you have leggy seedlings and you do have an indoor grow light, that light needs to be closer to the surface. That's why you're probably getting leggy. Put it way closer. Okay, any updates on the lemon tree? Not coming soon. Coming soon. They are coming soon. Any pets? Dean Winchester. I'm going to get a pet pretty soon, actually. I'm going to get an Epic dog in the spring, I think, once I get the fences built here at the Epic Homestead. Thomas Sullivan, can you throw compost on the ground while it's snowing? Yes, you totally could. Are heat mats and grow lights necessary for seed starting? From Ashley Esparza. I would say no, not absolutely necessary. Oftentimes a good recommendation. I don't use seedling heat mats too often because I start my seeds literally indoors and it's over 65 degrees all the time, which is generally fine. But if you're starting them in like a garden shed or something that can get cold at night, then yeah, you're definitely going to want a seedling heat mat. Okay. Lamar says, I had a super chat on whiteflies on cabbage and kale. I would say whiteflies on cabbage and kale, what I do for all my cabbages, all my kales, all my brassicas is the first month that they're alive, I cover them with a floating row cover and I completely prevent all pests for the first month. After that, then you can use like neem oil can be a great way to get rid of it. But generally speaking, a tip that's going to help you go a long way with your brassicas if you have a lot of problems with them is just cover them up for the first month and you're in a good spot. Guys, I'm definitely seeing this Chickasha movable chicken thing, so I thank you for that. You need to keep putting it in the chat. I see it and I appreciate it. Deshaun, am I familiar with the yuzu lemon or the Thai lime? I'm growing both of those. I'm growing the Makrut lime and I'm trying to get a yuzu right now. So hopefully I can get a yuzu this season. If anyone knows where to find a yuzu, then please DM it to me on Instagram because I've had a hard time finding yuzu. Okay. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today's live stream. The first live stream we've done in 2021, the first live stream after 1 million subscribers. So thank you so much. Cheers. Good luck in the garden. You guys know what I'm going to say next. Keep on growing, and I will see you on the next one. Stay tuned. Tomorrow's video is going to be reacting to your subscriber gardens. So stay tuned for that, and I think it'll be really kind of a fun video. So if you have any other questions, hit me on Instagram @Epic Gardening. And until next time, peace out. Good luck in the garden. Keep on growing.